was a unique life experience because we were facing an epidemic of unthinkable proportions, because there were thousands and thousands of very young people dying at the prime of their lives. And that was really set it apart. It was wrenching. There was most horrible deaths. There was tremendous prejudice against them. So there was a lot of social elements associated with this. And it was I feel privileged to have been at the front lines of that, because I was able to help a lot of people die in peace, help them, in very difficult times of their lives. So as a human being, that was a unique experience. At the same time, it was a unique experience as a physician and as a scientist, because I saw the best of the pharmaceutical industry. The virus was discovered in 1984. By 1996, in 12 years, and the disease was uniformly fatal. We lost about a third of our patients every year. And by 1996, pretty much we have stopped people from dying from AIDS, people that, of course, they could have access to medications. And so that was transformational, the way you think about the impact that the industry can have. And that really, I find that as a source of inspiration constantly, because that's what we would want to do for many other diseases. Recently at a leadership meeting, we were talking about Flagship, and I said, but I didn't know how great Flagship was before I came in. I had no idea. And Nubar said, well, you can only interview with 5 people. You couldn't interview with 200 people. But what I can tell you is, when you're inside, it's amazing. It's like I could not have imagined the breadth, the depth, the quality of the science of the people that are housed under the Flagship organization. It's just been stunning to me discovering what Flagship is and how little we know from the outside. I'm a person, I consider myself pretty well informed when it comes to the industry. And I could not have imagined that Flagship would be as good as it really is. I mean, it's an amazing organization. The people, the thinking, the daring thinking about how to make the future and how to push crazy ideas. And a lot of them are crazy, but many of them make it through, and they're not crazy, and they change the world like many of the Flagship companies are doing. So I have to say that it's a unique group of people of which I'm very, very grateful to be part of and honored. I always say I live in one of the most beautiful places in the world, and I'm moving to Boston. And even though over the years I've had many opportunities to move to Boston, I never took them seriously. There wasn't anything that could pull me into another place and leaving this behind. But Laronde is like love at first sight. When you understand what Laronde does, it's going to change medicine. It's the promise of some things that we've been working on for decades now, and we were not able to crack it or to figure it out. And Flagship and Laronde have. And so it is going to have so much impact on so many diseases, across any therapeutic area. But also for me, I think that's something that drives me, and it comes back from my HIV years, is that we built a great business in HIV drugs in the developed world, and we were able to save tens of millions of people in the developing world. And I think Laronde can unleash an opportunity to bring transformational medicines to 8 billion people. I think right now, many of the medicines that we are working on, which are great, but they cannot reach but 1 billion people in the developed world. But the other 7 billion people will never have access to it. And I think that what inspires me about the technology of Laronde and how can that be deployed is to make it reach the whole world and have an impact in the whole world.